The meta seems somewhat balanced at the moment, so what should you be doing? What should you be using in times like this? Hello everybody, I'm Shadow's Rain, and you guys are awesome, and today we're going to be discussing that very topic. So without no further ado, let's get right into it. In this video, I will be talking about the importance of experimentation, what I'm going to be experimenting with, and what is currently a really good pick in this balanced meta. So let's get right into it. The importance of experimentation. This is important because you can try new things, new weapons, new grenades, new perks. You can try that without taking as much of a hit to your KD as what you otherwise would. A lot of people say that they don't really care about their KD, but it's always subconsciously in the back of their mind. Always. It's the same with me. I don't really care about my KD because, hell, I tried winning the game with a FN556. That wasn't very fun. That took a day or two to do, and that literally knocked my KD down 0.1. So, not 0.1, 1. So that was a fun time. And this applies to all aspects of the game. So if you're wanting to try new things with your team, try new things, new attachments, new ways of playing the game, this is a really, really good time to do it. And you're going to find out more accurately and quickly what's effective and what's not. Niche picks are also very effective now in the current balanced meta. Now, by that, I mean stuff like an ABR, stuff like a crossbow. These things that not many people use are a lot more effective in metas like this because there's not as many things that can hard counter them. The same for perks. So if everyone uses overkill and then ghost, but maybe mix that up. Start using something like restock. Restock is super effective. Like, you don't actually understand how effective restock can be sometimes. Likewise with the other perks that you use. Make sure you try new things, and you might actually find a new balance. It is during these times that people do find new metas. For example, the last time we had a somewhat balanced meta only lasted a week because your boy discovered the DMR. Whoops, sorry about that. But yeah, you might find the next meta doing it, and if you do, make sure you forward it on to me, and I can make you and that class somewhat famous. But do be warned, when you do make something meta, the very next thing that we're going to be doing is making it unmeta. We'll be countering it, much like we did with the DMR video, much like we've done with the Grout and the Bruin in the past. So yeah, just something for you to bear in mind. The next thing is that ranking up weapons on the fringe of relevancy. So guns like the AK-47 in Modern Warfare, guns like the Ram 7, stuff that isn't exactly relevant, but they're not bad picks either. These are really good guns to rank up in times like this. So good guns to actually try and use, like I said, in terms of experimentation in times like this. So yeah, really good time, really fun time to be ranking up stuff like that as well. Secondaries, it's a good time to rank up secondaries too, especially if you are on free to play. Speaking of free to play, pay to win challenges, as I call them, they're going to be a lot easier in this game now. They're going to be a lot easier because there's not as many things that can heavily counter them. So, for example, if you still want Dragon's Breath for your R9 shotgun, that's going to be a lot easier to do in Plunder now, as people aren't just going to blast you away with an MP5 or a DMR with 2 headshots at super close range. So, yeah, pay-to-win challenges are going to be a lot easier to do for the free-to-play players at this current point in time. So, if you are one of those players, that is going to be something that you're going to be better off trying to do now. Also, on that regard as well, for the players who actually own the game, already have a lot of their challenges already done, because these players are doing that, you're going to be finding a little bit more variation in what they're doing. Things are going to be a little bit more mental, so gameplay is going to be a little bit more varied, and it's going to be nice to see. And like I mentioned before, trying new perks is massively important, because finding a new balance of what works with what is going to be key to unwrapping the next future BS metas, because you know they're coming. As soon as they bring out a new gun, you know it's going to be OP and a challenge only for a time being. So yeah, just bear that in mind. The next thing that I want you to do is experiment with your squad. So what do I mean by experimenting with the squad? I mean things like trying new strats. So if you guys are always posted up in sniper towers, try using one guy with an SMG or a shotgun instead. If you've always got the high ground, start practicing your low ground strategies. Or if you always play low ground, start practicing your high ground strategies. Are you never in a vehicle? Get in a vehicle more often and start absolutely hammering it until you understand how to effectively attack someone with a vehicle, and then keep practicing it. Using vehicles too much? Maybe be a little bit more patient and see what you can do that way. Challenge yourself. You can't rush people down. So yeah, Always using UAVs. Make sure you start using things like airstrikes and cluster strikes. Challenge yourself to be doing something different in times like this. Do you always prioritize your self-revive? Your self-revive? Well, make sure you try and prioritize something else. For example, like a loadout drop or a UAV. Pop a UAV, and then your next thing is that don't ever get a VSAT where you pop 3 UAVs in a row and basically get a blackbird in the sky. Start doing that more often. It's a really, really, really good time to try new things with your team. And as mentioned, trying new weapon combos as well. This is what set the A1A apart from regular teams. This is what set us apart from like regular YouTubers. So by that, I mean we have a team that's not all using assault rifle SMGs or assault rifle snipers. Everyone who plays with us now, especially in the stream team, has a specific role. And those specific roles were practiced and developed during periods where there wasn't a meta. So, yeah, just something for you to bear in mind. Yeah, so we usually have a ranged person, a mid-range person, and someone who's just going to annihilate everything up close. So that's how we usually run it in trios. And then in quads, we'll usually have someone rocking a launcher or rocking something just ridiculous. For example, I'll sometimes run a crossbow because why the hell not? So, yeah, that's just something for you to bear in mind with your team. The last thing you can do with your squad is trying new teammates.
Yeah, I said it.
Here is what I'm going to experiment with until you guys call upon me to counter the next big meta. So, I'm going to be experimenting with the Scar H. The reason I'm going to be experimenting with that is because though it technically has a low, a slow time to kill, it's like impossible to miss shots. So stuff like the AMAX have a really quick time to kill. However, you do miss a couple of shots, and then, yeah, Scar H, it always seems to melt when it's in my hands for some reason, and it shouldn't. On paper, it's a crap gun, but somehow it's really good when I use it. Next is the EBR, which we talked about earlier, and the SKS. We're going to be using them a little bit more as well. I want to get a feeling of where they are in the meta at the moment, especially since the Cold War integration. Haven't really used them since, so obviously with the DMR just basically being 10 times better than the EBR and FAL combined, but now it's not anymore, so I'm going to be using that. SKS, similar thing. That's more of a mid-range marksman rifle as opposed to the EBR being a slightly longer range one. So going to be using that. More of the crossbow as well. I've already got a lot of crossbow footage ready for a gameplay video. I just need to cement a crossbow win, and then that video is going to be coming right at you. I'm going to be using an AK-47 Modern Warfare as well. That's really, really fun. I prefer using the assault rifles on Modern Warfare because you've got more variation with them. You can put underbarrels on them, and the attachments actually do what the attachments say. And then of course they've got quicker bullet velocity as well, so if you are running a assault rifle SMG, it's going to be a lot easier to hit your bullets from range with a Modern Warfare assault rifle. General rule of thumb, not always the case, there are exceptions. Next in the list is going to be a couple of pistols as well as secondaries. Like I say, I'm going to be experimenting with one class loadouts a lot this time. So there's going to be the Renetti. The Renetti in single fire mode is really strong, especially in akimbo mode without the Mark III burst. That's really strong at the moment. And also the M1911 Cold War. People don't actually know how strong that thing is. It's actually really strong. Speaking of which, the next video that I'm going to be releasing on Saturday, that is going to be the M19 versus the Renetti. And it's going to be a really fun video, so make sure you don't miss that. Make sure you subscribe for that too by clicking the button below. But yeah, after that, I'm going to be experimenting with the FFAR2 because I haven't really unlocked anything for that. I've unlocked things for the other assault rifles in the Cold War classes, but apparently this is like the closest thing to a ram that there is, but it's got a bit more range, so I am actually really looking forward to experimenting with that as well. So, once I'm settled, I am going to make videos about what my loadout arsenal is. So what all my loadouts are and how they complement each other, because I use my loadouts in unison with each other like a good old-fashioned combination, because first loadouts, second loadouts, and sometimes third loadouts are called depending on the situation, and having that versatility is always good. If you have versatility, it's going to make your win percentage in Warzone so much higher, so that's just something for you to bear in mind. But guys, that is going to be the end of the video. This was meant to be a 5-minute video, and here we are nearly reaching 10 minutes, which is a bit mental. But yeah, just another reminder that you guys are actually amazing. Thank you so much for the additional support lately. It really does mean so much to me. And yeah, here's to the next one. Till then, guys, I'm Shadows Rain. You're awesome, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.